Hi, you guys. We're on lesson 71. We're just moving right along. We are going to learn to divide with numbers that end in 0 and then some tricky numbers, okay? And so that's the whole lesson today. We're on page 455. We're just moving right along. You guys are doing great. Just make sure you keep practicing your multiplication facts and your division facts so that you don't ever forget those. Those are really important, okay? So I'm going to let you do your own reading. You should, if you haven't done it already, please make sure you read the lesson before we start on the lesson practice. These numbers right here came from the reading. We have 200 divided by 4. And I want you to always remember, you don't want to just try to divide everything at once. Let's break it down and let's remember the rule of thumb here. If the number is larger than this number, you can divide. So you can't have 2 divided by 4. It's just not going to work. So we're going to go to 20. And you can divide 20 by 4. 4 goes into 20 5 times. Notice I'm putting it directly above the 0 that I'm working with. If you don't do that, you can get yourself really confused. Okay? And you don't put above the 2 because then you forget you used that 0. So 5 times 4 is 20. We subtract. Bring down. And whoa, we've got 0. You do know that you can have 0 divided by 4. That is okay to do. It still ends up with 0. However, you cannot do 4 divided by 0. That is not. You don't do that. Okay? So 0 goes into 4, 0 times, and 0 times 4 is 0, and you're done. Okay? And you can correct yourself. 50 times 4. 0 times 4, 0. 5 times 4, 20. Okay? Don't get lost in all those 2's. Double check yourself and make sure that you have the right amount of 2's and that you're not adding more in or taking some out. Okay? So here's another problem that can get a little tricky. 121 divided by 3. So let's just play by the rules here. 1 is too small. Does not go into 3, so let's do 12. Well, we know 12 goes into 3 evenly. 3 goes into 12 evenly. It goes into it 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. There's nothing there. But you still have to bring down this 1. Now, you can't just say remainder because you've got to fill this. This space here needs something. So it goes into it 0 times. And 0 times 3 is 0. When you subtract, you still have that 1. But it's proper now because you filled this space. So you do have a remainder of 1. Now let's check it and see how that looks. 40 times 3. 0 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. And then you add your remainder. 0 plus 1, bring down your 2. This number is the same as that number, so it is correct. Okay? I'm going to pause this and erase, and then we're going to come back and we're going to work on the practice together. I forgot to do example 2 with you that's at the top of page 457. And I do want to do that before we begin because estimating can be kind of tricky. I had problems with it when I was helping you with the test. So, Mr. Griffith drove 254 miles in 5 hours. About how many miles did he drive each hour? What I would do is I know that 5 hours and 25, 250, are very much related. So I would just round the 254 to 250. And divide that by 5. And so it's a pretty easy problem then, isn't it? 250 divided by 5. Can't do 2, so 25 5 goes into 25 5 times. Multiply, subtract, bring down your 0, goes into it 0 times 5 is 0, and you're set. Okay? So not only that, it's 50, but it's 50 miles each hour. So you would just want to put that label, 50 miles. Okay? All right, I'm going to erase that, and we're going to move on to A through G. Okay? A through G. So get your paper out and let's copy down A. $120 divided by 3. All right, I'm going to walk through this one with you, and then I'm going to let you guys do them, and then you're going to check and see if you did them correctly. So you can't go into 1, so it goes into 12. 12 goes into 3 4 times. You put the 4 above the 2. Multiply. Subtract. Bring down your 0. And 3 goes into 0 0 times. Okay? I hope I'm not moving too fast for you, but I only have a certain amount of time that I can record. Okay, I'm going to copy down B, and I want you guys to try it on your own. So take 240 divided by 4. I'm going to go get a drink of my mocha while you're solving it. It's delicious. Okay, here we go. Can't take 2, so 4 goes into 24. 6 times 4 is 24. Subtract. Bring down your 0. 0. So 60, 24. Did you do okay? All right. Copy down C. 152 divided by 5. So it's going to be a little different. If you get stuck, stop and wait for me. Okay. 5 goes into 15 because it won't go into 1 3 times. 3 times 5 is 15. Subtract, bring down your 2. 5 will not go into 2, so you have to put a 0 up here. Okay? You've got to hold that place, something. It's got to be a 0 if it can't be anything else. 0 times 5 is 0. Now we subtract, and now we have a remainder. How'd you do? Do okay? Okay. All right. D. 121 divided by 4. While you're solving this, I'm going to erase the top problems. All right, let's see how you did. 4 doesn't go into 1, but 4 does go into 12 3 times. 4 times 3 is 12. Subtract. Bring down your 1. Okay, 1 does not go into 4. It only goes into it 0 times. So I guess you could say 4 goes into 1 0 times. 0 times 4 is 0. 1. And you have a remainder of 1. Okay, you getting the hang of it? Let's move on to E. which is 91 divided by 3. Okay, follow along. Here we go. 3 goes into 9 3 times. 3 times 3 is 9. Bring down your 1. 3 goes into 1 0 times. 3 times 0 is 0. Minus 1. So it's 30 with a remainder of 1. Okay. Go ahead and solve F while I erase D. Okay, 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. Bring down your 1. 2 goes into 1 0 times. 0 times 2 is 0. Subtract with a remainder of 1. Okay. Now we're going to move into that story problem at the end on G. Everybody? And always remember, you can pause this. It's not like you're in class and you can pause me and tell me to stop, even though I will slow down mostly. But you can pause me anytime. Pretty nice, huh? You've got control. All right, G. The employees in the shipping department of a company loaded 538 boxes into a total of 6 rail cars. That's on a railroad, right? They put about the same number of boxes into each rail car. About how many boxes are in each rail car? When you hear the word about, they're really asking you to estimate. And that's kind of giving you a little bit of a break because you don't have to do really hard problems. You pick numbers that kind of match with each other. So when you're dealing with 6, think about 6 times something that goes into 538 or close to. Well, what's 538 close to? It's close to 540. And you know that 6 goes into 54 evenly, right? So instead of doing 538, we're just going to do 540 because we can estimate. Because they asked that magic question about. 6 goes into 54 9 times. 6 times 9 is 54. We bring down the 0. 6 goes into 0. 0 times. 0 times 6 is 0, and you've got your answer. 90 what though? 90 boxes. It says explain how you found your answer. All you have to do is say, I rounded 538 to 540, comma, and divided. Guess you don't need that comma there because there's no new subject there, so you don't have to do that. My time's up. Bye-bye, you guys.